Very good morning, everyone. So my talk is case-based and it is very interactive. So I would request everyone to please participate, especially the trainees and young surgeons like me who have just started their practice. Don't shy away from participating. We all are learning, including me and all the senior faculty here. So here is a young male patient, came with an X-ray like this. Acute trauma, fall on outstretched hand, came with this X-ray. Would anybody like to read this X-ray, please? Anybody? Somebody come forward or I'll pick someone.
Ask Samir Dalvi to say what is it. Someone said something. Intraarticular?
Yeah, somebody.
There is a diaper on the dorsal cortex.
On the dorsal cortex, yes. So is this something that you would consider can be conserved? Is that dye punch significant enough to be operated? Or would anybody like to do a close reduction or just given a plaster in situ and conserve it?
Evaluate further.
For?
CT. Depends on which day of the month.
Why?
Elaborate that.
I know.
Closer to the EMI.
Okay, CT
With the, hey ma'am, ha.
Yeah. So that is the CT scan. So my question is there a difference in what you see in the X-ray compared to what you're seeing in the CT scan? The step is much more compared to the X-ray. On the X-ray, the step did not look that significant. We talk about 2 mm step, but the X-ray is a very 2D way to analyze it. That is the CT scan where the step is quite significant. And, sorry? A traction view would have helped. But do you think, Dr. Kiran, with the traction view, that fragment comes up, it would cause...
If CT is not available or
Definitely.
trying to get some idea on the X-ray traction view.
So that's the CT scan. So what's the plan of action now?
Joint is also involved.
Mm-hmm.
Reduced radius styloid along with the dorsal subluxation.
Yeah, so next, the plan of action.
The volar side seems to be intact, so I may consider a dorsal approach.
So everybody says plating, nobody for wiring or X-fix. Dr. Hemant?
Volar cortex is intact, definitely. And since there is a significant intra-articular comminution, as you know, the articular surface can be approached only from the dorsal side. Or if you want to see the joint, you have to go dorsally. You cannot see the joint from the volar aspect. So I would consider opening this from the dorsum, keep bone grafts or substitutes ready, and put in a plate from the dorsum.
Okay, so I did go in dorsally, reduce that fragment. Usually, we do not need bone grafts when the patient's present early and the bone quality is good. So, and we used a dorsal. Somebody in the crowd just asked about what kinds of plate that we need to use dorsally. So that's an L plate that we use. I think the kind of plate that we used highly depends on the pattern of the fracture, because here only the styloid fragment had depressed down. Only that fragment was caught with an L plate, but many a times we have used 2 plates when both the fossas have depressed and both of them need support. So there can be another plate on the ulnar side too. And there was an additional wire that we put for extra assurance, and the wire was removed at 6 weeks. That's the X-ray, 3 months post-op with a well-healed fracture. The radiocarpal joint looks well aligned. The articular surface is restored, and that's the function after 3 months. So this, again, fresh trauma, young patient. Anybody to comment on the X-ray, please?
Dorsal lunate facet. The lunate facet is fractured.
Okay, so would you get any further investigations for this?
Just repeat what he said. So he says it's a
Lunate, yeah. He said it's a lunate fossa, but he's not sure if it is volar or dorsal. We don't have a good lateral X-ray, probably a good lateral. This was an X-ray that he did from outside and he came. Maybe a good lateral X-ray would help. But any further investigations, maybe a CT scan, yeah. So that's the CT scan. It's a volar lunate facet. So now next is again, how would you try to treat it? Anyone for conservative treatment? You would conserve it?
I'll conserve it because the Jimla arcs are maintained properly. The third line is maintained, and by giving a bit of retraction, I would give it a thought. One more important thing is I like to look into the age of the patient.
46 years old, young patient, yeah. He has a business of his own, but a very active patient with sporting activities, plays cricket.
I'll probably give him a trial.
A trial of conservative treatment. And
Anyone else would conserve?
If you can give at least a week or keep a track every 7 days with a supervised X-ray. And supervised meaning that 10, 20, 11 degree lateral X-ray. And counsel him for surgery if it is placed.
So you would take X-rays through the cast.
Yeah.
That's a little more difficult to interpret. But yes, that is an option. But probably the forces are going to work on the lunate and try and keep displacing this. Because you want him to move his fingers and make a fist, I'm sure that those forces are going to act on that lunate and push down that fragment repeatedly.
next, okay, so if not, everyone else said not conservative, then what would be your plan of treatment for this? What would be a mode of fixation? Yes, so like we saw in the previous case, it was a dorsal shear fracture. Here it is more of a volar shear fracture. So approach would be more from the volar side. Yeah, so I did approach it volarly. So that spike, that piece that you see was the proximal spike of that fragment which had translated down and radially. So first what I did is try to catch that fragment from a wire in the styloid. Any comments on this? Do you think the reduction is good, or is there something more that needs to be done? Sorry? Yeah, so I didn't want to go so distal, and it was a little difficult to get a wire there. So first I tried it from the styloid to see, because I pressed the fragment down, it looked like it sat well. But what it was doing is, it was seesawing on that fragment. Or that fragment that you see should have sat like that, but it was seesawing on that one wire that was there. So it was not sitting properly. So I removed that wire and then I fixed it with a wire from the distal end that is a little beyond the watershed line from that specific fragment. So that is how it looks. We have a bone model on the left side that shows. So this wire has to be placed beyond the placement of the plate so that it doesn't come in the way of the plate, because you maintain it while you continue the fixation. So, and then I used another wire from the ulnermost corner of the volar spike, because that was lifting off, to tamp it down and reduce that fragment. Like you see the proximal wire that is there, that is from the ulnermost corner of the proximal spike. So choice of plate, somebody said fragment specific plate. So there are different kinds of plates that we have in the set. These are basically predominantly dorsal plates. Now this, we are using it volarly. So what happens is, when you keep the plate, sometimes they can stay off from the volar side, because these are anatomical plates. These are made more for the dorsal surface that's a little convex. So all these plates are a little convex, and the volar surface of the radius is a little concave. So what we need to do is very gently pre-bend the plate so that it matches the contour of the radius. Be very careful, because this metal is a very soft metal. The plate might break. So when you're doing it, do it very gently, gradually. Keep it on the bone and see. That's the plate that is sitting well on the bone. And then the fixation was completed and the wires were taken off. That's the X-ray 5 weeks after the surgery. That's his movement 5 weeks after the surgery with good pronosupination. Yeah.
Regular FCR approach, or
I took a FCR approach here. It was a little difficult to get there. Maybe a medial approach taking all the flexors to the radial side would have been a better approach for this. But I did manage to get it. Became a little difficult to put that wire into that fragment. Maybe a medial approach would have been better. So you were asking something.
Exactly the point I was trying to make. When we know that we are going to go only on the intermediate column, maybe approach between the flexor tendons and the ulnar neurovascular takes you directly on that column.
But if you have taken the approach that she has taken with the darting at the distal end, you can open the sheath of the FCR and that allows you to pull everything away. So that gives you a little more leeway.
Okay, so here is a 32-year-old male patient presented with a fresh injury. You see there's a styloid fragment fracture plus there is an impaction in the center. Can everybody appreciate that impacted central fragment? So that's the CT scan. You see the impacted center. That is the styloid fragment that on the more displaced on the dorsal side, and that's the impacted fragment here. Because this was a centrally impacted fragment, it was difficult to elevate it. So what we did is we were taking a dorsal approach for this because it was predominantly a dorsal shear fracture. Went in from the dorsal side. We took away the styloid fragment. There you see the impacted fragment on the right image, the articular surface. We actually did an arthrotomy so that we could see the articular surface end on. That's the impacted central fragment there. So I have a step-by-step image of how we reduced it. First, we tried to reduce it manually. The step wouldn't reduce. So we took aside the styloid fragment, put a very small punch and gently lifted that articular surface up. So now you see in the last image, the articular surface has come up to the level of the styloid articular surface. Fix that fragment specifically with a wire, one with a PA wire and one directed proximally. Put back the styloid and fixed it with a dorsal plate. So here is an example of a different dorsal plate for a different kind of fracture. In the first case we saw, I used an L plate. Now, my last case, young gentleman, a policeman came with an X-ray like this, and he said, "I have no money for a plate." So, would anybody like to conserve this?
Hard to believe he's a policeman. He needed supination.
He said, "Doctor Saab, kuch bhi karo, I have no money for a plate," which is a very common scenario that we come across. Patients come and say, "Paisa nahi hai." It may not be true.
CT scan also. He doesn't have money for a CT scan.
No, this is an argument we always have had about, we are talking about everything in the urban setting with insurance, etc. We should also talk about fractures. What happened?
He shut it off.
He's decided that you're enough of you, yeah. But we must also, and Dr. Tanna and I had this argument in Vyrock many years ago where he kept on insisting that you cannot mix science and economics. And I think we should. At some stage, we will be forced to try and use alternate methods, and that's what she's getting at.
MJPJ sanctions plates. They don't sanction plaster. Yeah, that's what they said. I was giving a lecture on how to give plaster and all, and they said, "Sir, but we can't do that." I said, "Why?" Because MJPJ, they sanction only plates, and they don't sanction plaster and all that. That's what they said.
So we'll cancel this case then. We don't see this case. Arey, iska to koi fayda nahi. Yeah, go on.
So he was treated with KYS augmented with an external fixator. So that styloid fragment were fixed with 2 wires, one a transverse subarticular wire and one to the proximal shaft. He had an ulnar styloid fracture. I won't go into it because I think Dr. Tauri is covering DRUJ injuries. We augmented it with an X-fix. So my point here is don't shy away from using KYs and external fixators. We have a lot of plates coming out every day. So don't forget about these simple techniques. They can give you very good results if used properly. The X-fix was removed at 4 weeks. And he was on his duty when we asked him to send a WhatsApp video of his movements. That is his movements, completely healed fracture. With good movements, I'm sure he has a lot of money now because the supination is restored.
Thanks, Nikita.